Assalamu alaikum everyone. Okay, today we'll talk more about string functions or string methods. As we know that the string is a primitive type and it has a lot of functionalities that can be done on the string side. So let's start by now. The string basically is more like an array. So the array, you can treat it as an array. It's a collection of character. It is included in a package called java.lang.package, and that's included in the Java. So it's considered as a non-primitive data type. We can say that yes, it can be used anywhere. Also, you can have like ability to do a lot of things on the string if you use a string. It's not like using collection of characters. Now there's two ways that you can declare the string. First of all, you can just put like a string and the name of the variable and equal a value, or you can use the word new, because string is basically a class. When you create a class, an instance from the class, you just use a new method. So you can use either way. You can use it as a string like this, equal the value, or you can use a new string. It doesn't really matter. Okay, it's up to you, but the simplest way is that when we declare a string, basically two ways to declare the string. The first way is you can say like directly string name equal, for example, a value like this. And another way to declare the string, which I'll put it as a comment, you can do it like string, same variable name equal new string, and you put the value inside that, because a string is more like a class, and when you do that you call the constructor. So you can use this way or this way. They are the same thing. Okay, they are the same thing exactly. There's a lot of functions in the string. Okay, so the first one we're gonna learn is how to use how to get this. Let's go through them. Now this is the string. I told you this is like an array, and each string has an index from 0 to 1. So if I want to, for example, print name, if I say, for example, system.out.print and I say println, and I want to print only name, it will print the whole string. Okay, it will print the whole string. If you run it, it will print the whole string here. So this is the run here. You can see the run. It just print the whole string. But if we print that, let's practice something. Okay, if I want to know the length of the string, I should use this function. I just click dot, and then you can see a lot of function that's related to the string. One of these functions called length. The length will give you how many letters that included in the string. So it is more like an array. You can use this one to get the length of the string. So if you print the length of the string, that will print you how many letters inside the string, including everything, including space, anything between the quotation, between this quotation and this quotation will be counted. So it's counted now here as 16 letters. It's counted as 16 letters. That means start from 0 to what? To 15. So this is the string. It will be stored like this, like an array, and every letter has an index there, and you can check that. Use also a function to find a letter somewhere. Now there's two functions. One you can give the index. Okay, I can use this function called index of. This index of, you print name dot index of. Okay, this is index of, and you give it a letter like A, for example. Okay, or let's say letter T. What is the index of letter T? And you should put it between quotation because it's a string. So I just want to know where is the position of T inside the string. Okay, should give us 3, because there is another one here another one here. So 0, 1, 2, 3. If I want to jump, start like counting after the first letter, so I should say, okay, start from this one, will then now index of and give it a letter, will give you the first position that find the letter N. So here it finds 0, 1, 2, here's T. Okay, T is in the third place. So it gives you the index of the letter. Now if I want to jump, I want letter, the second letter. What's the position of this letter? Okay, I could ask him to start from where? Start from 4. So I will put comma here, add something here, and say start from position 4. Then this will forget these letters. Okay, it will start from here. It will count, start from here. So we can see now the letter T. Now it will give us 8. And you can see that it gave us a letter 8. Okay. All right. This is how we use index of. Another function is used to what? Another function is used to get the index. Okay. This one will get the index of a letter. This one will give the letter. I'll give him the index, and this will give me a letter. So I should say dot character at. Now this one will give me the character position exactly. So for example, if I want the letter in index number 5, I want the letter in this is the opposite of index of. Index of, you give him the letter and will give you the index of the letter. But character at, you give him the index and will give you the letter at that index. So this one's supposed to give us 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They give us E. Supposed to give us E. So let's see, letter, and this is supposed to give us letter E, because letter E is in a position 5. Now this is letter E. This is the index of, and this is character of. Now they are opposite. You give the index, it will give you the letter, or you can give the letter and that will give you the index of the letter. Okay, another one you can see, replace. If you want to replace any part of the letter with something, okay, you can do the replace. The replace is very easy. Okay, you just let's replace. Let's say, for example, okay, I want to print the string. Okay, I want to use replace. I will use replace, and let's say here, okay, I print dot and I will choose replace, and replace will give you like an option to, okay, I wanna replace, for example, let's say replace index. Now this will replace the index from, you have the option. First of all, I could say I would like to replace for example M, okay, with for example T. If I want to replace M with T, so it will go and find all M and replace it with what? With T, similar to the examples here in the slides. Similar to the example in the slide. So if I run that, that will, if I print the name, you can see that the first letter is what? T is replaced. It's not M, it's replaced with what? With T. Okay, so the first letter is replaced with T. That's how you do replace. You can just say I want to replace this with another one. We can also replace, for example, space with something. If I want to replace the space between one there, I want to replace it with underscore, like this. I can do that like this. Okay, this is, you can use it to replace the letter. You can see that it put underscore instead of the space in the output. That's the replace. You just replace one letter with another letter. You can replace a group of letters. It's not necessarily like one letter. You can replace the whole thing. You can replace, for example, the space with what? With, for example, with a full letter like this, and that will come up like this. It will, and it's not necessarily just one string. It replaces the letter with this. Okay, and you can also replace, like for example, if you want to capitalize the second word, you can say replace TAR, for example, sorry, the small one, TAR. You can replace it with what? With ALITAR, like this, and that will work. Okay, and you can see here it replaces it with the full name. Okay, so this is replace. You replace one part of the string with another. You can also get a substring. For example, if I want the first name separately and the last name separately, okay, I could say like this: string first name and last name. Okay, last name to string. I want to separate these two strings. So I could say, for example, first name, okay, equal to what? Equal to name dot. And I would say substring. Okay, substring that. Now substring, you can give them substring. I want the first name. The first name actually is happening from where? From position number what? 0 to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 0 to 6. Okay? So I want substring from 0 to 6. And that will give me the substring from 0 to 6. I want the last name. The last name equal name dot substring, and I want it from 7. If you give from 7, that will take from 7 and go on. Okay, so the first one is from letter at position 0 to letter at position 6. That will take these letters, supposed to be M, O, N, T, H, E, R, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and this one will take from 7 up to 7 is what? 7 is a space. So let's start from 8, because 8 is actually where the first letter of the, so take T, A, R, A, W, N, E, H, the last thing. If you did not specify the end, it will take from this position to the end. This position to the end. So let's try and print the first name and the last name. Okay, so I'm gonna say, okay, let's try to print them. So I'm gonna print here first name, and I will say here what? First name. And also can print the last name to see how that looks like. Sometimes you want to store in the database, you ask the user to enter the full name, and you want to separate the last name from the first name, so you use this one. Okay, use this function, and if you run it like this, okay, that should print the first name and the last name separately. So you can see that the first name is Wonder and the R is gone, so we need to increase this a little bit here, 7, and run it again. So this, you can see that now this is the first name is Monter and the last name is TAR. Okay, so now substring, you can give a range from this position to this position. I want the letters from this position to this position. Or you can say, if you say just give one number, that means that will go to number 8, this position, and take all the letter until the end of the string. So this is how we can use substring. It's a very powerful function. If I don't know how many letter is the first name and the second name. So here I said from 1 to 7. I can say find the space. Okay, I can say find the space. How do I find the space? I can find the space using character index of. So I could say here, for example, okay, integer x equal name dot index of the space. Where is the index of the space? Okay, that will give us the index of the space. So I'm gonna start the first letter from 0 to the index of the space, which is x, and here I'll start from x plus 1. And if I don't know, that will give us the same result. If you don't know where is the first name, how many letters, you can find the space and split it based on the space. Now this was supposed to give us the same result. Here we go. So I can use all of them together to do something sometime. Okay, so this is substring, and we use replace as well, and we use what? Substring. Do something called replace first. If I want to replace, for example, the first thing in the string, okay, that will replace what? Replace only the first matching, not everything. So when you do replace here, when you do the replace, I'll just give you an example here. When you do the replace, okay, that will, for example, replace M with T. Let's say T with S. Then we have T, we have two T's with S. So this one will replace all T. This one, this T, and this T with S. Okay? If you run it, that will print what? That will print without M. Will replace T with S. You can see that the T is gone. No, not gone. It's small letter, so we need to make it small letter like this. Replace it with S capital. And there's a difference as well between capital letter and small letter. You can see that this is replaced with S. This is replaced with that. So it's replaced. It searched the string, and everywhere you find T, we'll replace it with S. But if I want to replace only the first one, I could say something like that. I don't want to replace everything. I just want to use what? Instead of replace, only the first one you find. Okay? Replace first. Replace first. Replace first T with, for example, S. And be careful with the small letter and capital letter. So you see the difference between the first one, replace first this one. Now you see the difference. Now if you use replace only, it will replace all the occurrence. But if you use replace first, it will only replace the first T. The second T still what? Still the same. Only replace the first occurrence of the string. If I have two things, okay, if I have the email, I ask the someone to enter, or for example, let's say I want to add something to me. I want to say Dr. Munder, or I can say print the name like this, Dr. Okay, and then I will say what? Plus name, and that will print what? Dr. Munder. Like, but there's a function actually you can use. Okay, you can use that function to do something. I have two variable like string as equal doctor, like this, and I want to concatenate between them. I could say like this, as equal as dot concat with name. And if I print as here, that will print what? Same thing that we achieved before. Okay, the same thing that we achieved before exactly. So it's the same. So you can use a plus. That's normal, because when you add two strings to each other, that means they join them together. And this is the same as the function called concat. this is the same as the function concat. Even if you add number to the letter, that will consider it as what? As, for example, 966, something like that, at anything. Okay, if you do the add, that will what? That will make them just a single letter as a string. Even if there are two numbers, if you want to concatenate this one, normally when you enter the phone number, okay, you don't put 0 at the beginning, like 00968. This is the key for Oman, for example. But the person enter his mobile like 7994866 like this, and you want the concatenation between this and this. How do you do that? When you do the plus between them, it will not be like an arithmetic operation or mathematical operation. It will be like what? It will be just like adding two strings to each other. So the S will be full number. I can put like this one like this, and when you put them together, it will add them like a string, like this. Not numbers, it will join them as a string because they are between what? They are between quotation. They are between quotation. So the concat is more like what? More like a plus. Okay? Now, I can also compare two strings to each other. See how is it like? Okay? So if I say, for example, here, for example, S equal Monter Tarawna, and I put them between. What's the difference between them? S and name. We have S and name. Okay, I want to compare them to each other, so I can just print what? The comparison between them. I can use to see if they are the same or not. You can use this for the password to compare if the password is the same or not. So you can use the compare function. How do we do that? We can say plus, we can say name, for example, okay, name dot compare it with, compare to S capital. Compare the this one with the S. Now the result, let's see the result. It will return true or false or 0 or 1. Okay. Now what does it return? Minus. Minus mean what? They are not the same. Why they are not the same? Because there's a difference between what? This is capital and this is small letter. Okay? If I change this to capital, probably that will give us what? The result. A good result. Okay? So at 0 means what? They are the same. If it gives you other number than the 0 in the minus, that means what? They are not. That's the basic things. Okay? If they are the same, it will return 0. Otherwise, it will not return 0. So I can use the if statement like this. If, for example, I can use if statement like this. If name dot compare to us like this, you can it will return 0. Okay? If equal 0, you can print what? Print something like this. For example, what? System dot out dot print. You can print len butter, same name. It is the same name. If it's 0, for example, okay, that's supposed to print the same. If they are different, I change one letter from capital small letter, and that will print what? Nothing. Okay, that will not print the same name because they are not the same. So you can use this to compare two strings to each other. That's very simple and easy.